Hey, 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 hey. It's Sunday night, Sunday evening. I know football is on, but we might as well see what we can see for the day, huh? Might as well see what we can see for the day. What y'all think? See what we can see for Friday? Friday. It's Friday. It's not Friday, it's Sunday. It is Sunday. It's Sunday. I didn't see y'all on Friday. Maybe that's why I'm singing my song, because I didn't see you on Friday. I was running errands at the time that I would have been here with you all. But we had a good OPEX day. I do want to share with you what last week looked like. How did last week play out for all of us? Let me see if this is going to open up our, yep, there we go. What did last week look like? How did we run last week? Right? Let's talk about what the market did last week. Hey, Val, what the market do last week? Come on, I'm trying to have the machine do more than one thing at a time. I'm trying to have it run while I run, so that, because I'm already late, I was rushing home so I could make sure I was here with you all close to on time anyway. I knew I wasn't going to be on time. And I see my computer is lagging because I'm asking it to do a lot of stuff all at the same time. So it's definitely lagging, right? And it had not been shut down, so it's running slow from being on, all the things. But we're going to do what we can. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to do what we can. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday, good weekend. I'm not going to talk so much. I'm going to try to let the computer do what it's doing. And it's looks like it's trying to do some things. It's Sunday. Who's watching football and who is winning? You tell me in the chat who's winning. Who's winning the game? I think it was with the Patriots and somebody else was playing. The last time I looked, I was at it was supposed to be brunch, but it was going way late. Cheesecake Factory was having a tough time keeping it moving today. We went there and they were moving mighty slow off in there today. So it was good because I got to spend time with my daughter and got to talk with her a bit, but they were moving mighty slow in there. Mighty slow off in the Cheesecake Factory. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to enjoy the time as it comes, just let it go as it goes. But they were moving mighty slow. Mighty slow. I think I'm making some progress here. I think I'm making progress. Let me make sure all is well. Y'all didn't tell me who was playing right now. Did y'all tell me who's playing? Who's playing football now? I'm almost there. Looks like I got a couple people that are live with me who decided to join me on a Sunday afternoon. A couple people are here. Anybody know who's here? Who's playing? But, I'm trying to get y'all to engage in the chat too. I could start all this before going live, be doing all this along the way. I could be engaging with the people. I don't know. It's looking kind of Looking kind of shaky here. Hey, Lisa. I hope you have. I think I might be here. Maybe. Maybe. Let's up. I grab that in a minute. Need to turn on the monetization. Let me going slow. I'm gonna close my camera. It seems to be really slow. Turn it. All righty. Let's go here. Hey there, Morris Irvin. How you doing? Did y'all see the news over the weekend? Oh, I want to talk about it, about the stocks that are going to be, is it frozen? Well, it seems to be. It definitely seems to be like it's frozen, freezing, and doing something. It seems to be like going super slow. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no. Might have to close this. I'm going to close that because I'm asking my computer to do too much, I think. And then I'm going to go up here and close some things up here that I don't need. I don't need that. I do need the earnings. I don't need that. A bunch of stuff is trying to open at the same time, and some of it I don't need. So that's what's happening there. Okay, I do need that chart. I don't need the economic calendar. I'm going to go here. Let's talk some news. The U.S. and EU trade war is back on. The market's braced for a jolt from Trump tariffs over Greenland. Europe will not be blackmailed. That whole thing with Greenland is an interesting piece going on right now. We have to see how that all plays out, basically. Trump and Davos, Netflix, and Intel results, what to watch this week. Now, y'all know this week we've got FOMC coming up. FOMC decision, I believe that's this week. Is it this week? The 20-something. Is it this week or next week? I feel like it's this week. We'll get to the calendar here in a minute, but we also have something else happening soon, which is where some stocks that were expiring every week are going to start expiring every 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which that's going to be an interesting thing that happens coming real soon too. I've got a date on that. I'm gonna have to go look at the date so I'm real clear on when that actually happens. Let me go make sure we're not frozen anymore. Are we frozen? It seems I'm real clear on when. There we go. Okay, so there's that. I wanted to go back and talk about last week before I move too much. Hey, Selena, before I move too much forward. Okay, let's go look at what happened last week. Okay, now we had a really good week in the market with in our membership. We traded well this week. It was OPEX week. Now OPEX week has its own set of issues that happen with OPEX. Okay, that means a bunch of stuff is expiring, and generally there's lots of volatility during OPEX week. But so you can see, this is the weekly chart I'm getting ready to show you. This is the weekly chart here, and basically for the week, it we opened and closed real close to the same spot. Y'all see this? Talk about indecision. All of this at the top is wick. At the bottom is wick, and the price opened and closed within. It opened at 69.44 and closed at 69.40. It opened and closed within $4. This is last week, right? The whole week, price went up as high as 69.86 and went down as low as 68.85. So like 100, 110 points. No, back to 100 points. 100 points from the top to the bottom of last week. Right, 100 points between the top and the bottom, but it closed within 4 points of the top and the bottom. You think we're agreeing on the price? Think we're agreeing on where SPX should be? Between 69.40 and 69.44 is where it opened at one place and closed at the other, real close together. Right, outside week. If you're a stratter, it was an outside week last week for SPX. Went above the high of the previous week and below the low of the previous week. There's still a gap left below, down to 68.58. There's still a gap down there. We did go to all-time high. We went up to 69.86. I believe I said that went to all-time high. But we weren't able to go any further than that. Well, is that all-time high? Because I feel like we were at 7,000. No, maybe we weren't. So why did I feel like we had gone up to 7,000 or past that? What made me say that? That we had been above 7,000 at some time in the recent past. Doesn't look like it though, does it? Okay, so 69.86 is the highest we went this past week. All right, let's look at each day. See what the days look like. This was OPEX. This was Monday. Had a nice green day on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not so much. A lot of red, but it still stayed in a range, even though there's a little bit of volatility, a little bit. It still stayed inside of a range. This gap here was filled. It showed up here. The gap that was here got filled. But there's a gap you see down here. It still got a little bit of it left. Well, a good bit of it left. Some part of the gap got filled on Wednesday with a bit of a dip into it, but it did not. The gap goes down as low as 68.58. Shoot, with the news we're working with over in with Greenland and all, we liable to get a little bit of turnaround. But you see, this is a good little seller zone. Good little seller setup. So it's giving. I can go back down, even though, yes, this week was an outside week. Outside week says it could go one of either direction. That's just creating a broadening formation. Price could go more up. It could go more down. Okay, could go either. This is a 3 candle. Is another one of the remain to be seen. Let's see what happens next kind of deals. All right. Let's look at IWM. SPY and Triple Q will look a lot like SPX because they usually do. They're all kind of comprised of the same stuff. IWM, though, is the small cap, so it's going to look different. It's going to look different. You got a gap down here at the bottom. This is the weekly chart I'm looking at on IWM. That one, shoot, that monkey went running to all-time high. Like, y'all can play around if you want to. But this is IWM on the weekly chart. Basically a solid 2-up week. IWM was like, I got places to go. Y'all ain't got to go with me, but I'm going. The high of the week on IWM was 267.21. That was the high of this week. And the low was 258.24. So about 10 points, which that's a lot for IWM. But basically up, and away. What happens next? I mean, it pulled back off a bit and actually closed for the week at 265.83. If we look at the days, we can see that there was a steady climb in the 5 days. It did level off for Friday and pull back off of that pivot on Friday, kind of stalled out there. So we've got that from Friday. But now it remains to be seen what happened next. It actually is a 2-up, but this is a failed 2-up, which means it tried to go up and really couldn't sustain, and it pulled back and closed at the 265, which could indicate a reversal here. Again, remains to be seen, but a failed 2-up is kind of a reversal or a bearish move. We'll see what happens next. There's a gap left behind here. Let me mark it since I'm here. Might as well mark the stuff that's on the chart. If you're going to be here, might as well mark it. Might as well mark it. There's nothing there. Nothing. Okay. So there's the gap there. Okay. There's the gap there between 263.22 and 263.72. About 50-cent gap is there on the daily between Wednesday and Thursday. That's small cap. So there's a little bit of a gap left below here that, of course, IWM may want to go back and get. When I went to the weekly, I don't think I saw a gap on the weekly that needed. Well, I got the one down here. There was a gap from 248.86 up to 249.72 that will need to be filled as well. Okay. All right. That's what happened last week. Last week. Let's go look and see what earnings we got coming up this week. We've got some good old earnings coming up this week. I think we're getting ready to go into, we're in earnings seasons, get ready to see what the Mag 7 get ready to do. The banks let us into the earnings. They always do. Monday, nothing, because the market is closed on Monday. So for a dates standpoint, the market is closed on Monday. Futures, I believe, is still running. For those who trade futures, you can still trade, but the U.S. market, New York market, is going to be closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday observance. Okay. Tuesday, we've got 3M, Fifth Third Bank, DR Horton, Bancorp, Fastenal, KeyBank, Peoples, Mercantile, Forest Star, and SunPower. Tuesday after close, you got Netflix. Yeah, United. Anybody watching his and hers? Ooh, I've been watching it, and wow, I've been screaming at my TV all weekend. Netflix, United, Interactive Brokers, Progress, First National Bank, Bank of the Ozarks, Zion Bank Corporation, Hancock Whitney, Carew, and who is this? NPB. Newport, maybe Newport Bank, something like that. Wednesday morning, we got Johnson & Johnson, Halliburton, Charles Schwab, Alley, Citizens, TEL, Prologis, Teledyne Technologies, Make My Trip, and Travelers. I think that's an insurance. On Wednesday, after market closes, we have Kinder Morgan, Bank of California, CACI, Banner Bank. I think that's a Banner. Yes, it'd be Pinnacle, Knight, Live Oak Bank, Fulton Financial, Horizon, and First Bank. That's all Wednesday after close. Thursday morning, P&G, GE Aerospace, FCX, which is a bank, Texas Capital Bank, Huntington. I think that's a bank. Abbott, McCormick, Norwood, NovaGold, ACM. Thursday, Intel. Intel been doing that good moving. Anybody trading Intel? Intel has been doing that good moving. I have a leap on Intel. It's been doing well. Intuitive, Capital One, Alcoa, CSX, East West Bank, Associated Bank, Alaska, Byline Bank, and Customers Bank. And Friday morning, we've got SLB, Erickson, Webster Bank, Comerica, and First Citizens Bank, and then Booz Allen, and Hamilton. All of those are coming this week. Lots of banks trickle. They got a few little things thrown in there. Netflix, United Airlines, CSX, Intel is in there, P&G, Johnson & Johnson, a few little other things sprinkled in, but for the most part, it's bank town for this week. All right. For the most part, we've got banks coming on this week. Okay. Let's go see what else we've got as far as meetings and data. Monday, like I said, the market is closed. Tuesday, we've got WEF annual meetings. Yellow, that's an orange folder. What's WEF? Let's go see what that is, because I don't know what that is. World Economic Forum. WEF annual meetings are held in Davos and attended by central bankers, prime ministers, finance ministers, trade ministers, and business leaders from over 90 countries. Surprised that's only an orange folder. Most meetings are open to the press, and officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. Okay, that's an orange folder on Tuesday. An orange folder on Tuesday. Okay, that's WEF on Tuesday morning. It was actually going all day. The meeting goes on Wednesday. It looks like Thursday as well. Is it down on Friday? Yes, that meeting's going all week, looks like. Okay, Wednesday, we've got the same thing. President Trump is speaking at 8:30 on Wednesday. Wonder why he's speaking so early. Let's go see what's going on that he's talking so early. Oh, he's speaking at the World Economic Forum. Okay, he's speaking there on Wednesday morning at 8:30. He's speaking before the market opens, so we'll see how that goes. Pending home sales is happening on Wednesday morning. Construction spending. Okay. Thursday, we've got final GDP quarter over quarter at 8:30 in the morning. Unemployment claims is happening then. So FOMC is not this week. It is next week. My thumbnail says FOMC is this week, but it's not this week. Must be next week. I thought it was the 20 something. So I'm a week ahead of myself. Core PCE data is coming out from October. Personal spending, personal income. That's all October data. And then on Friday, we've got flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. Those are coming out on Friday. Those are red folders. Okay. So we've got some earnings. We've got the World Economic Finance thing happening. And we've got President Trump speaking on Tuesday. So no FOMC. I have to need to change my thumbnail because my thumbnail says that it's FOMC this week and it's not. That's next week. All right. Not accurate. Trump says 8 European nations face a tariff. Okay. Supreme Court unlikely to overturn the Trump tariffs, his signature economic policy. I would be shocked if they overturned it myself. That would just cause a big trickle of a lot of things, but we'll see what happens. Trump wants the nations to pay $1 billion for permanent board of peace seats. $1 billion for a permanent board of peace seat. Okay. Well, Trump threatens to sue JP Morgan Chase for debanking him. Deep banking. They won't let him put his money in their bank. Interesting. Always something over there, ain't it? Always something over there. I was going to share with you the information about the different stocks. Let me see where I put that information so I can share with intelligence, because I don't want to share without, I want to share it with intelligence. So let me move this to here. I got this from TJ, even though, it's, you've probably seen it popping up across the internet, but TJ made it clear what was what. Why is it not getting bigger? Can y'all see this? It may not be able to see the screen like in its full size, but I'm going to tell you what it says here. Okay. Let me move it to the middle, TJ Woodard says, you probably seen this screenshot here, and it's a lot of mumbo jumbo. If you want to, it's a lot of I'll say legal speak, trade speak. Talks about all the things that are here. Anyway, the screenshot matters. Starting January 26th, options change structure. Some major stocks and ETFs will now have Monday and Wednesday expirations and not just Fridays. Right? This is NASDAQ approved. The names include Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, AVGO, and IBIT. More expirations mean better timing and risk control, not easier money. Structure matters even more now. You should save this. Okay. So just a piece of information here that you definitely want to make sure that you're, if you're going to trade these things more often, and people will, okay, if they're liquid, people are going to trade them with options and maybe shares more often. Basically means we're going to have to watch our structures better, make sure that we're getting some good entries and good exits, and follow our good risk management. But starting January 26th, which is next week, not this week, not Monday, but next Monday, we're going to start having Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expirations, not just Fridays. All right. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what your thoughts are about that. Yeah, tell me what you think about that. Okay, there's that. I think I covered both of those things. Yep, and I talked a little bit about what was on Yahoo Finance. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, let me see where we are now. Where are we? Here we go. Yep, absolutely. I don't know if you all have been, I usually post my things on all my social media places, but I've been doing a trade of the day this week. Started last week, doing trade of the day, where each day I kind of do like a recap of the trades I took that day, trades, if I took one or two, something like that. I do a recap of those trades, right? And so I've been doing those every day. You can, if you follow me on YouTube, which hopefully you are, following me on YouTube. If you're not, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the thumb up, hit the notification bell. Also, if you do on YouTube, go ahead. If you're not following me on YouTube, what you waiting for? Come over here and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, okay? But I put these out each day. My one from Friday, I posted it actually yesterday. I talked a little bit more about gamma. Gamma is not something I mention it, but I usually don't talk about it a lot. I did show it a little bit more in Friday's video. You might want to go take a look about how I use gamma, and it helps us kind of navigate our way through SPX during the day. It's something that I talk about and I teach inside of our membership, right? These are the things that I teach. We talk about how do we use our charts? How do we use our indicators, the few that we do use, and how do we incorporate gamma exposure to help us navigate the market or SPX through the day as we're picking strikes, and where is price going, where price won't go, how do we keep ourselves safe on our strikes, that kind of thing. I do mention that in this video, so go take a look at it. If you didn't already, go take a watch. Go take a look-see. All right. Let me see. I don't know if that next slide is something. Oh, there we go. I wanted to talk about copy trading. Listen, copy trading this week. Yep. You snap your fingers, snap your fingers, snap your fingers. Yes. Copy trading made 13.25% returns this past week. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I placed the trades. The people who are copying, they reap the benefits. They get to reap the benefits, right? They just get to chill out and be along for the ride. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you want to go and check out, let me see. I'm trying to see it down here. peakbot.com/ it's running along the bottom, so you can actually see it there. But now I'm not sure if you can click on these links when you see them in the comments. You may not be able to, but I want you to have them. At least you'll have them to look at. I think that's correct, right? You can also go to my webpage, educatortotrader.com, and find your way to copy trading, because it's there as well, okay? But basically, it's a great way to make passive profits. Passive, because you aren't doing anything but putting your money into the account and connecting PeakBot. Well, you got to subscribe to PeakBot, and connecting the PeakBot account to the Tradier. And then when I trade, you trade just like that. I trade, you trade just like that. When I trade, you trade just like that. That's the way it goes. Okay, that's the way it goes. You can, I think on all my social medias, I also put like a Q&A video, a question and answer. You can also check my channel, a Q&A video about what does it include, how do you do it, what's the, all the questions and answers. It was a Q&A that I did. I answered all the questions. You can go there and take a look. See if you're already in there. You can add units, so you can make more. When I make one amount, you can double that, quintuple that, times 5. You can times 10, times 20, times whatever, right? You can do it. You can do that as well. Okay. That's what we're doing there. I think that was there. Okay. And then we've got the membership. Membership is where you're learning these. I talked about gamma a little while ago. You're able to learn what's happening. In copy trading, I'm trading, you're trading. There's no teaching happening there. The most teaching you're going to get there is I'm just going to tell you what I did. I'm not teaching it. I'm not really even doing too much explaining it. I will tell you what I did. I might lead you to a video of what I did. But if you want more information about what happened, that's happening in the membership, right? I train and teach in the membership, where I'm teaching what's going on. How do we actually use gamma? I don't even think I mentioned gamma when I'm talking about copy trading, because I mean, honestly, the people who are copy trading don't necessarily care how I chose a strike or what. They just are just seeing that we did, and that whatever amount of money was made. Nobody's necessarily asking, well, they might be, but asking all those details. But that's not what I'm explaining over in there. There's no teaching and training happening inside of copy trading. If you really want to be taught, and you want to be trained, and you want to understand using your chart and technical analysis and all that goes with that, that all happens inside the membership. Okay, so if that's what you're looking to do, then that's over in the membership, and we're doing them both. We're doing them both. I'm doing copy trading and I'm doing the membership. Those are the two things I do. Listen, if somebody comes in your inbox talking about some strongman AI or, let me trade your money for you, that ain't me. Somebody come in talking about I do crypto, download your money or deposit your money here so we can do crypto. That ain't me. If it says, well, let's do this, the third, no, probably them most of that ain't me. I'm doing copy trading and I'm doing a membership. Those are the two things that I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. Doug said, I like knowing what our Alyssa Sweetie did. Yeah, if you want to know what I did, that the people who are in the membership can come on in and do that. If you just want to know what I did, like after the fact, like what you made $80, then that's copy trading. If you want to know how I made the $80 or what's happened along the way while we were making the $80, that's the membership. Okay, that's how that goes. All right, those are those two things. All righty. Okay, I think I've covered what I was going to do. Let me see if I'm going to look back at the chart real quick and see if there's anything I'm going to talk about moving forward or my thoughts about moving forward. I think I mentioned on each of these charts where I only talked about IWM and SPX because those are the two things that I really do talk about. IWM is actually sitting flat. There's a failed two up. It's time to see what happens next off of here. My speculation, if I was going to speculate, I'm not an investment advisor, so I'm not advising anybody of anything. But my speculation is that IWM is probably going to try to turn back. It may sit here for a minute. It might sit in this area and stall. But it's basically, even though it's a two up candle, it's barely two up. And this indecision, doji here says there wasn't clear decision between the buyers and the sellers. So it could sit here a while. It could turn on back. We got a gap down here to come get, but that kind of remains to be seen. Remember, the market is closed tomorrow. And then if we're looking at SPX, SPX has been in the zone for a while. You see here several days we've been in this zone, but this is kind of a seller situation happening here, right? It's a bit of a seller situation. There's a gap below all-time high is above us. Not that it can't go up there. Weekly high. There's a reason why that's up there. 7,000. We went up here. I feel like we've been up here. Why would I have weekly high at 7,013 if we've never been up here? What happened to my chart that's not there anymore? Anyway, it could come on back. Again, it was left on, that's a weekly chart. It was left on kind of a sitting still place as well. Doji for the week, letting us know that it's pausing, deciding where we're going next. It could go on up some more. It could turn back. I think SPX remains to be seen just because for the week, you see the weekly move here was an outside week. Like I said, for SPX, outside week being it's higher than the previous week, lower than the previous week. The low is lower, the high is higher. Really kind of give you an outside trend. If we were looking here, you got this trend and you've got that's kind of what happened there. So now there's room in both directions to see what could possibly happen next. So this kind of remains to be seen which way SPX decides that it's going to go. And we just going to trade what we see in here in these parts, because I don't necessarily speculate where I think SPX is going to be in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, a week, or a month. I'm looking to see where SPX is today. Where is it when I get ready to trade it today? Because I trade it by the day. I don't trade it by the week per se. I may look out a little bit a week. Sometimes I do trades longer, but for the most part, I'm looking at what it's doing today. Okay, that's me. That's how I do. All right, so that's how I do that. All righty, that's what happens over here in the membership. Listen, if y'all got any questions, comments, please put them into the comments of the video. I do check those. I do answer those. If you're looking for some stuff that I got going, feel free to come and ask whatever questions. You can find me on all the social media places. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me. I actually have a Telegram. You can do that. You can find me in Telegram. All right. I want you all to, first of all, I want y'all to have a good rest of the night. It sounds like the Bears are starting to do some things. The membership people, we're getting ready to go into our charting and training call. We can ready to start that in about 15 minutes. I got some stuff I want to share with y'all. So I will see y'all over there in about 15 minutes. For the rest of you, I want you to stay green. I want you to get this money. I want you to enjoy your Martin Luther King Day. And we will see you in the market on Tuesday. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.